Welcome back to another episode of One Hell of a Podcast. I'm your host today, Patrick Iampolite, and this is always presented by Hale Law Accident Attorneys. But today, we're very excited to have David Vicknair of Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers here with us. How are you doing, David?
Doing great. Excited to be here, Patrick, my friend, and excited to chat with you. I got this questionnaire from your marketing team who's very prepared about things that you may or may not ask me. I'm going to admit I didn't look at any of it. And so I'm coming in kamikaze. I'm ready to
Yes. Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
Let's give them hail. I'm ready to hail. Yeah, let's
Give
do
them
it.
hail. Hell yeah. Just for a preview for our viewers, this is David McNair, very good friend of Patrick Hale and I's, another personal injury lawyer. And we love to connect with him and other personal injury firms that focus on doing the right thing for people in every single case and giving back to the community, which David definitely does. So we're going to talk about personal injury. We're going to talk about real client impact, and of course, New Orleans, because we have to. That's where David's from. That's where David's at. How's the weather in New Orleans right now?
Well, I call it, Patrick, we have just hit the wet blanket season. And this is the season of New Orleans where the tourists stop coming and the locals try to flee because we have hit our humidity beginning. You know, you walk out in the morning that first time and it just hits you. It's like the wet blanket, and you will start to sweat more and you will start to be wet. And we have hit that season in New Orleans. We're actually got a little bit of rain going on right now, but it's going to be the humidity time for the summer. So, unlike Sarasota, unlike you guys, we don't get a breeze off the water, and which cuts the humidity a little bit when you get on the coast in Florida. But that's the season we're entering in. It's the summer season.
Bro, it is magnifying glass season if I had to give this a name here right now. I was just golfing yesterday, just cooking, man. My wife like looked at me, she's like, "You look darker than I have ever seen you." And I'm like, "Yes, we are at that point now in the summer." So, David, tell us for our viewers. I know you, you know me. Tell us a little bit about yourself, which got you into personal injury law.
Sure. So, approximately, man, getting old. Approximately 11 years ago, I want to say in June of 15. I went on my own, started my own practice, subleased some office space from Brad Scott, who's my law partner. And for many years, up until like 2019, 2020, 2021-ish, I really had a mixed practice of business, construction, litigation, non-insurance, hourly type stuff, along with personal injury word of mouth referrals. And really, the last 3, 4 years have been more focused on marketing growth, a lot of the groups that we've met in, and accelerating our injury practice. And our firm here in New Orleans now, my practice group, is about 33 total team members. We're solely focused on personal injury. So about 99.6% of our cases are personal injury type cases. And there's various reasons for that, which I'm sure we'll get into, kind of got away from the business and construction litigation. But that is the type of work that I've always wanted to move my practice towards, a contingency-based practice for personal satisfaction and business purposes as well. And a lot of the challenges that I kind of faced with an hourly practice was you could work on a case for many years and really pay attention to every detail, leave no rock unturned, do a great job, get a good result, objectively speaking, as you know, for the client at the end of the day, but then they're still saddled with a six-figure plus legal bill, and it didn't feel like a win to them. It wasn't very fulfilling, and in many situations, not always, sometimes those can be great results, and there were great clients. Some of them I still talk to today and help here and there when I can on the hourly side, but that really was kind of the impetus of me shifting more into contingency fee type work.
Amazing, amazing. And now that you're doing this full time, what is it that keeps you coming back? What is it that keeps you going?
Yeah, that's a great question. My why is totally different now than what it was, as you probably are starting to realize. Like as you get older and you get in different stages of your life, the reason you're doing stuff and why you keep doing it kind of changes. For me, it kind of simply is like I really have to feel like I'm doing meaningful work and that I am doing something meaningful in the world. And internally in the organization, for me, I get a lot of fulfillment in a leadership development capacity, meaning being able to watch myself kind of impact each of the team members at the firm, watch them grow, watch them get better, watch them get stronger, watch them develop their skills further, get more confidence, not just in the legal department. That's where I spend a lot of my time because I'm still the managing attorney, but our marketing team, our administrative team, our disbursement, our intake, our new client team, all those teams, watching those people grow, evolve, make more money, succeed, that gives me a lot of fulfillment, and it is a big part of my why. The biggest one for me, though, really is developing a client experience that is distinct and different, and always evolving, iterating, and growing that client experience, making it like one step stronger than it was before. And so those are kind of my big whys.
Amazing. Amazing. And the last background question. Outside of work, what does David Vicknair like to do?
What do I like to do? Well, I'm in New Orleans, the best food city in the world. So unquestionably, nobody would ever challenge that statement. So definitely a very New Orleans
I'm
thing
not
for
going to.
Tampa's got some good food sounds. We've talked about this a lot, Pat. Tampa's got a great food scene, but not a good football team, but a good food scene.
Hey
You
now, hey,
know,
shots fired.
so I'm sorry, R.I.P. Bucks, Tyler Shuck on the scene. So one of the things that we like to do in New Orleans and we love to do is try new restaurants. So there's always a new restaurant in New Orleans, a new bar. It's like you can never keep track of it. So like trying new places, being out in the food in the restaurant scene in New Orleans. It's not really a scene like a club scene, but like trying those new places is a very, very New Orleans thing. I love that a lot. Trying to get back into golf, the Live tour really took a dent into that because they shut down my driving range for 5 months to improve it for the Live event, which just got canceled in New Orleans. So I think it just reopened. Is that right, Miles? I think it just reopened. So I'm trying to get back in the range, maybe get back in the lessons, getting to playing golf more. I love to travel. So I like to go to Florida. I have had a place in Pensacola Beach for about 11 years now. I've always loved the Panhandle because easy shot straight from New Orleans to get to the beach. I'm a huge beach person. I like the mountains. I try to find a way now, at least once a year, to wander my way over to Europe. And so I was able to go with some friends. They had a birthday trip in Italy and Switzerland early in the year. I was able to do that. I'm going to go on a TV trip to Portugal later in the year. So
All right.
travel, cooking, love to cook and spend time with family. So those are kind of like all of my personals.
Incredible. Incredible. So getting to the firm, let's talk about Scott McNair. Injury attorneys, we fight for the win. I
It's a
love y'all's
catchy
name.
jingle. It's a
It's
catchy
amazing.
jingle.
It's amazing. So tell us about the firm and what makes your approach unique. I know you said you like to always take up the client experience up a notch. So what is that at Scott McNair?
So our approach to the client experience is really what is their experience from their first interaction with us until we hopefully are dispersing their case, not having to terminate representation for any reason, not having lost the case, obviously. So from beginning, first call to the end, it's analyzing each step of that experience with us and how we can have different touch points that are repeatable, different, elevated, more than the client expected. And we have a lot of good stuff in there, but I really think there's so the thing with being in the hospitality business, which every law firm is, every restaurant is, every service business is, which I think is something like 83% of the US economy now is in the service industry. You can never, in my opinion, perfect the client experience because there's always touch points you're probably missing that we routinely hit. There's always touch points that you're probably not consistently executing well, that there's area for improvement on. But I do think our approach is being obsessed with it and being obsessed from the standpoint of doing it completely opposite of the way everybody else in this industry does it. And I really try to take a lot of inspiration and thought from other business leaders in different industries in legal and take their approach to it and really model some of the different things that we do after certain people, whether it's Walt Disney or the Ritz-Carlton or Chick-fil-A, or even recently I've been thinking pretty deeply about like what the Savannah Bananas have done as far as it relates to major league, like to sports, like all of these organizations which have experienced like rapid success have dissected and really analyzed different aspects of their business and how the client experienced their business and done the opposite of what most people do and given the client much more than what they expected, which has led to a lot of success for the organization. And so that's kind of like where I start when I think about it is how can I do the opposite? How can I deconstruct this? How do we do this different? And that starts from how our intake and new client team treats a potential new lead the minute they call us versus how most law firms handle that until the very end that we disperse the file.
And I feel like you don't even stop there, David. You continue on with the community and giving back to the community, and you have so much going on. So tell us about how the firm is giving back to the New Orleans community and Louisiana in general, and then how are they coming back? How is your clientele kind of working with the firm before or even after a case?
Yeah, so one of the things, right, that I believe strongly in is staying in touch with the clients once they're in our database. So how do we interact with a client after we've closed their case? Well, they're going to get a print newsletter from us every month. They're going to get birthday cards from us if we have their birthday, handwritten birthday cards. They're going to get holiday cards, probably 3 or 4 holiday cards throughout the year. They're going to get magnets throughout the year in the mail. They're going to get a lot of different touch points, not just electronically, which they will get a lot of electronic touch points, but also physical in the mail in front of them because we want to stay in front of them. We want them to be a part of our firm ecosystem so that we're still talking to them, communicating with them, a part of their lives even after they leave the client experience. So if they, a family member, a neighbor, anybody else needs us in the future, we're front of mind to them, number one. In the community aspect of it, though, I think it kind of is an obligation of ours as an organization. Like if you have some success in a business, you didn't do it by yourself. The community supported you, people in the community trusted you. And so a lot of our why and the different things from our core values in the organization is giving back to the community and support the community that supports us and being a positive member of the community in Southern Louisiana. And so, we just finished up. As you probably know, it's been our third year. We give a cruise away to a teacher. My mom was a teacher for 33 years. So it's very much like an on-brand community initiative for me personally and professionally. And that's a lot of fun getting all the nominations and recognizing that teacher who wins a cruise and send them on a cruise. We are shifting into project backpack planning right now, which is going to be an event, a full-scale event at our Top Golf 504 Golf here in New Orleans. We're really excited about that venue and that event in its third year now. We're turning it into an event as opposed to just a drive-through backpack event. We're going to donate over 1,000 backpacks full of supplies into the community. We do a partnership. Our marketing team has done a great job at partnering with Take Paws Rescue, Metairie Humane, and Louisiana SPCA, where we highlight different pets, dogs available for adoption every single week on our social stack, promote it, and then we have an event in the fall where we coordinate and promote for people to come in and see the animals and help adopt an event. It's called Your Forever Home friend event that we do in the fall. We also have a lot of partnerships with some local charitable organizations. Specifically, I'm a long-term supporter of Volunteers of America in their Southeast Louisiana chapter. I'm on the board of directors there, and we do a lot of programming. We may work with them and in concert with them or support different things that they're doing, and vice versa. We also have a partnership with a team for Hogs for the Cause, which is a huge cook-off down here in New Orleans, which raised a little bit under $7 million this year for pediatric brain cancer. And we're the title sponsor of a team. We support a team. I'm now a member of that team, a swine crew out at Hogs for the Cause. And just like our client experience program, our community initiative program is like never ending. We're looking at new sponsorships right now. We're always looking at different events that we're going to get more involved in the community and do more of. And so it's kind of one of those things when you talk about like community impact, community giving, community initiatives, it really never stops because the need is super high. And the difficulty, to be honest with you, Patrick, is we have to say no so much. We get so many sponsorship requests. We get so many requests to do different things now that people have seen us being an active participant in the community and partnering with local causes and doing amazing work that we really have to be careful about what we do and don't say yes to because there's just only so much that we can individually as an organization do. But our goal is really every year to continue to expand that and do more and more and more and more.
Couldn't agree more, David. It's incredible what you all are doing. I think you know this, but to all of our viewers, uh, you heard a lot of things that Hale Law does, and it's no coincidence. We were inspired by David and his team, and doing the free cruise giveaway, the backpacks, and the adoption promotion for helping these animals find their forever homes. We're always excited for all those partnerships. But I agree, it's hard to do everything, and but you all do so much, and I see you doing a
Well,
lot.
I appreciate that. I just want to say to your point, which is like it's an amazing thing though, because like a lot of the stuff that I do is not original idea or thought. It's just you travel the country, you meet other law firms, you see other businesses doing different things that are cool, and you can either replicate that or iterate it, right? So the teacher cruise giveaway was really a Mo DeWitt thing, and Mo was like very giving and shared the whole game plan with me and exactly how he executed. And then we're like, okay, we can do this. Pretty straightforward, right? And so then we adopted his program and then y'all did. So it's like there's more law firms, more businesses doing these cool community things. Like there's no pride of ownership here. So I love that y'all are doing a lot of the stuff that you see us do or you ask me for input on. Every now and then I see something y'all do and I want to steal it and I just take it. It's like that's awesome. Let's do that here. I mean, that's a good thing. So the more communities that are being impacted by y'all, by us, that's a positive thing, right?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, this is the best uh, contagious thing that I can imagine, right? We're spreading charity and love and just well-due recognition when it comes to our teachers. So yeah, I
100%.
couldn't agree more. It's amazing. And speaking of promotion, I see you online promoting local NOLA businesses. I love to see it. Do you want to tell us about that? What inspired that? What got you started doing that?
Yeah, so our overall podcast, is now on its 102nd or third episode. And we really kind of started the podcast and we're like, what is the point that we're doing it? We're just kind of doing it, right? But so you got to just like start and get going. But pretty soon we realized that what we wanted the podcast to, or we knew from the beginning, we didn't want the podcast to be like boring and like, hey, we're just going to talk about like recent case decisions and like Supreme Court jurisprudence, which, like, no offense to those podcasts, they have a role in the podcast sphere, right? There's like a growing and growing podcast sphere and a role for every type of podcast. But I knew when we started the podcast, I wanted it to be on highlighting interesting and local people primarily, right? Like we bring in national people who aren't from Southern Louisiana, but like we wanted to keep the mix like 60 to 70% local businesses, local individuals, like people who were of interest locally. And primarily, a lot of them are not in law. And then this new initiative that we started about 2 or 3 months ago is called Small Biz Big Wins with Scott Vicknair and Rollers. it's kind of an iteration on that. It was really my friend Paul Faust's idea, just telling me at the pool one day, which by the way is a great example of why like you just have to do things like and take other people's suggestions and ideas. Most of the good ideas I come up with, I'm just listening to other people like pitching me. You hear 10 ideas and nine of them are bad, but one you're like, I could think this is a good one, right? And so we kind of just that's where Small Biz Big Wins kind of like was birthed from is like, hey, let's get out into the community and use the infrastructure that we have now. We have Mariana, full-time designer and editor, Miles, a very talented videographer and photographer. We have a marketing director, Whitney. Like, so we have a full marketing team and the ability to shoot content, edit it, design it, make it look really good. And smaller businesses that don't have that capability need to be promoted, need to have their story told. And so we kind of bring that along with, we spend a lot of money and online with collaboration partners on social media. And so we can leverage those partnerships to help those people who we're shooting content for to get more views and promote their local business. And so it's really just all about like locating those local businesses and highlighting them.
Amazing. No, it's been awesome to see. I'm stoked to come back to NOLA, not only to see you and hang out, but also visit some of those good looking food spots and bars. I mean, they
There's a
look
lot.
incredible. There's a lot. There's and probably still at the top of my list is Emeralds, and I don't know how you feel about it, but that
Emerald's like the tasting
uh,
menu.
the tasting menu, yeah.
Okay. So Emerald's the tasting menu is probably the best dining experience I've ever been to.
Dang. And when you say that, I know how many places you have been all over the country and this world. Like it's shocking to me.
It's really good. It's really,
That's
really good. And I think it's a great example of I think it's a great example of a second, third, or whatever generation EJ is of his father really iterating and making a name for himself and taking the tradition that Emerald started, but doing it in a different way, in his own way, at a different level, at his own level that is unique and cool. And so I'm really happy for him and the notoriety he's getting in the food world around the world. I think it's been rated one of the top 50 restaurants in the country and the world or something like that. The tasting menu. So it's really, really good. And it's just really how I think elevated dining should be. If you go to some really nice restaurants, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly and everything in between. And I think it has tethered and stayed close to the original roots of Cajun food and Southern food, but still delivered it in like a elevated dining experience way. It's really remarkable.
incredible. Can't wait to come try it.
Yep. You won't be
So
sad.
I love it. I love it. Just hope you'll be there. Just hope you'll be there.
Yeah. Just got to give me advance notice and put it on
Definitely.
Hale's credit card.
Yes. Even better. You love it. So now's the time we love to take in our podcast, one hell of a podcast tradition, to do a Florida Man segment. So I'm going to
Ah,
tell you three stories, and you've got to guess, is this true or is this false? And we'll start with
I am
the
familiar with Florida Man, so I'm excited. Let's go.
yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Uh, a man was arrested after trying to throw a live alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window. The next one is a man was hospitalized after attempting to wrestle what he thought was a small gator in a flooded street during a storm. It turned out to be a 6 foot real alligator. And then finally, a man trained his pet alligator to retrieve golf balls from a water hazard at a local golf course and charged golfers per bucket. So, which one of those do you think is real? Which one of those do you think is not real?
So is there only one that's real of the three, or is it possible that I want to be clear about the rules? Is it possible
Yeah,
that all three could be true?
it's possible.
Okay, I think the second one is definitely Florida Man and definitely true. The guy who tried to wrestle the gator in the water and thought it was small, but it was like a 6 foot gator.
All right.
I do not believe a guy trained his alligator to field golf balls at the golf course. And I think it's very outrageous to believe that a guy threw his pet alligator through the Wendy's drive-through window, but it feels extra Florida Man to me because it feels like it's untrue, but it's true. So I'm going true for the Wendy's drive-through. I'm going true for wrestling the gator in the water, and I'm going false Florida Man on the guy who trained the gator to fetch the golf balls.
Like Baker Mayfield in the red zone, you have scored, completely scored.
I was
Three
right
for
on all
three.
three, wasn't I? See,
All
I've been going to Florida for a long time. I'm quite familiar with the Florida man.
all three. And David, just for you, we made one of
Hold on,
these.
hold on. Am I the first, Patrick? Am I the first person to go 100% on the Florida man segment?
I mean, at least I'll have to check with the producers, but I
Miles
believe
excited back here.
with me, you were the first two, all three, you got it down without hesitation.
All right,
And
this has made my
just for
day.
you, just for you, David, we made one of these actually a New Orleans. We didn't make it a New Orleans story. It is a New Orleans story. Which of the two real stories do you believe happened in NOLA?
Which of the two do I believe actually happened in NOLA?
Now, the wrestling in
I,
the
I,
street or the Wendy's drive-thru?
I'm gonna believe, I'm gonna say, see, you would want me to believe the wrestling in the street because our streets flood a lot in New Orleans, but not enough time for the gator to get out there, in my opinion, generally speaking. Yeah, sure, it'd come through a storm drain, but I'm gonna go with the Wendy's drive-through, and I might be cheating because I think I remember seeing that in the news.
So you might have seen it in the news, but your instincts were right the first time saying it was a Florida man sounding story, because that's the Florida one. The
Ah,
New
okay.
Orleans one was the flooded street during a storm.
So it was a New Orleans resident who wrestled the gator in the street, thinking it was a 6 foot, short, small gator and it was 6 foot. Yeah, you
There's-
can't go based on the head view above the water. You just that can really throw you off.
It can't. Nice. You did good. You did good. All right, let's roll into some local favorites and life outside the office speed run. So, favorite restaurant in NOLA?
Oh my gosh.
Which is, I
Favorite
know, I didn't read
restaurant
the
in
question.
NOLA. What I mean,
I know.
what a terrible outside New Orleans person question.
Right.
Okay, I can't do that and I refuse to do it. So
That's fine. That's fine.
start over.
We picked out roles before for one, so that's one. All right. Favorite coffee spot?
I really love a French truck coffee, and it's hard to beat their cold brew coffee. It's just delicious. And so I'm gonna go French truck. Even though I love PJs, I'm a huge PJs fan too, but I'm in a cold brew mood right now because we're getting hot, and I'm thinking French truck.
Love it. Favorite place to spend time off of work?
The beach, the golf course, or the mountains. I have a
Love it.
1A, and a 1D.
Favorite places in Florida? Maybe give us somewhere in Tampa. So I know you've been here.
I've been to Tampa quite a bit. I Okay, I love Pensacola Beach. I'm a huge Pensacola Beach person. I've been going there for a long time. So I gotta give Pensacola Beach a shout out first. And I have lots of favorites in Pensacola Beach. But in Tampa, man, there was some great restaurants that I went to in Tampa. There's a really good restaurant group that owns that restaurant in Hyde Park, which is kind of like a elevated type of American restaurant. And they also own that really good restaurant that is in the Armature building over there in Tampa. I think it's the same group that owns both of them. Is it Oak and Ale or something like that? I love those two restaurants.
Yeah, the first one that came to mind in Hyde Park was Meat Market.
I
It's kind
did
of
not go. I have not been to Meat Market,
Meat Market.
but there's like it's the same group that owns that restaurant in Hyde Park owns. Is it Oak and Ola? I think in
Yeah.
Armature Works. Those
Yeah.
are two great spots. And then there's actually a really cool speakeasy in Hyde Park behind like I think it's like a deli counter or a Jimmy John's or something that we checked out. That was really cool. There are obviously a ton of great spots in St. Pete. I've been to St. Pete a bit, right outside of Tampa. I love that hotel right there on the marina in St. Pete. Is it the Vinoy? That's
Oh
an
yeah.
awesome, awesome, awesome freaking hotel and the pool spot, like all those things. And obviously, like the bar scene in St. Pete is kind of like wild in a good way. Like I'm definitely past my like I like going to like happening bars all the time days, but man, it's fun to go run through that bar stretch in St. Pete. It's pretty wild and not expected, and so that's popping to the top of my mind. There's just a lot of really good spots in St. Pete and Tampa, so it's tough to like narrow it down to one or two. Obviously, Burns was awesome, but I will say I definitely, when I go back to Burns, I'm gonna say no to a lot of food because there was just way too much food.
Agreed. It's kind of part of the experience. Next time you're coming down this way, we'll have to tempt you. I know you like a nice hotel.
I
They just
do.
built St. Regis Longboat Key. I just went there for the first time for a local lawyers conference. Holy smokes. Talk about, elevated, like above Ritz-Carlton elevated. It
Where is
is.
it in Sarasota or is it in Tampa, Pat?
So it's right off of Sarasota. So it's on the key. And once you cross over the bridge, you go a little north, and holy smokes, it is incredible. World
Well,
class.
I've got a lot of credit card points, so I'm ready. Let's do
There we go. There we
it.
go. There we go. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. We appreciate it. It's been a blast. If people want to connect with Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers and David Vicknair, or even just David Vicknair, how would they best do that?
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me, Pat. Real simple. ScottVignair.com is our website. Like I said, we're a full service personal injury firm in New Orleans, but we really represent clients across the entire state of Louisiana. So if you have a personal injury case in Louisiana and you're looking to co-counsel with someone, we'd love to talk to you. Our phone number's on there, all the information on the website. Also, I write on LinkedIn twice a week. I have been doing that for about a year and a half now. I've been having a lot of fun doing that, talking about writing about things that I'm thinking about and are on my mind at the time. So you can definitely add me, find me on LinkedIn. And of course, we're on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram. Even though I don't have TikTok and I don't go there, I think we're on TikTok. Miles says yes, we're on TikTok, YouTube. So we're all over the place. You can pretty much find us anywhere. And we would love to connect with you if it's something that we could potentially help you out with or give you some direction and counsel you on other things that we could potentially help you with. Even if it's not a case we can handle, we'll try and connect you with the right person.
I love it. I love it. Same here on TikTok. I do not and never will have a TikTok, but
Tarshish.
I know.
I will not go on the talk. Every now and then somebody sends me a talk and I can't do the talk because I haven't ticked, so it's just a problem. It's something I won't do it. I'm trying to decrease the social media that I am on, but it is a lot of fun for us to do. Every now and then the team will come up with really kind of funny and new ideas for us to do that may play really well, like on TikTok, right? That may not be fit as well on like Facebook. And so doing that, it's kind of interesting seeing how different things and pieces of content that you create work well on some platforms, but not others. And look, there's just a ton of people on TikTok who love TikTok, who watch that content. And so obviously that's a place that's important for us to be at. But me personally, I'm not going to talk the tick. So.
Yeah. There we go. Any other final words of wisdom, advice, anything at all from Dave Vicknair?
I don't think I know that much, so I don't know that I'm the right person to be given too much wisdom. I'm a lawyer, been doing this for 15 years. I think I'm good at what I do, and specifically in handling litigation and maximizing case values for clients in personal injury litigation and managing a law firm. And I guess the biggest piece of advice I have, if anybody's looking for advice from me, is I don't, it's not that I don't think I know everything, but I'm a very curious person. And so I like to learn. I'm always trying to learn new things. And I try to like always be in a Ted Lasso mindset of be curious, not judgmental when I see different things, exciting things. I try to train myself to approach them more with questions and curiosity and to learn as opposed to thinking I know everything and being closed off to new ideas, new learning experiences, new different things. And the funny thing, Pat, is the more I listen, the more I am curious, the more I learn, and the more I approach things with that, the more successful my team is. So I guess my biggest piece of wisdom to anybody listening to this, if you're a lawyer, you're running a business, or you're just interested in any type of different advice, is to be curious, not judgmental. That's a Walt Whitman quote that Ted Lasso uses, but it's great. Be curious and be a constant learner. That's what life's about.
I love it. David, thank you again. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to an amazing, excellent episode of One Hale of a Podcast. I'm Patrick Iampoli, and remember to go to Hale.